I met Sam through my elder brother. He was my brother's friend. Due to some reasons, he was living in my brother's house. He stayed with my brother for over a year until my brother traveled out of the country. During his stay in my brother's house, we became very close. I told him so many things about myself. Even after my brother traveled out of the country, we still kept talking. We see each other often. He takes me out and sends me gifts sometimes. It got to a point we call each other besties. At this time, I was already in love with him. One day, he came to my place and told me that he was in love with me. I was so happy. So we started dating. Sam was about 25 years old at that time, and he was still living with his mom. One day, he took me over to his place and introduced me to his mom. She welcomed me and showed me love. Sam was not rich, but he was comfortable. Things started falling apart for him and his family. Then suddenly, he lost his mom. He could barely afford the money and resources to bury his mom. After his mom passed away, I took him to my place and gave him all of my savings. I stood by his side all through his mom's burial, which was about 2 weeks. After his mom passed away, Sam totally changed. He became a different person and blamed it on the fact that he was going through some grief. He became very disrespectful and ignored my feelings. He stopped being caring to me. I confronted him about him. He promised me he was going to change. At this time, things were still not going well for him, but I was supporting him financially. Throughout this time, I was taking care of the food, the bills, the grocery, even his outfit. At some point, he begged me to move in with him, and I did, even though I did not like it. My family were not aware about all these things. I would cook, clean, wash, take care of the house, and still treat him like a king. I just wanted to be a very supportive woman to him after he lost his mom, who he was very close to. Few months after living with Sam, he started bringing his 3 sisters' children, about 8 of them, without asking me if I'm okay with looking after the kids. I was the one feeding these children and Sam with my money. It was not easy for me doing all the chores and taking care of about 8 children. I could no longer take it anymore. I told him that I was tired. He stopped bringing all of them at the same time. Though I love the children and they love me back, I was too young for the responsibility, and it was so much for me. 2 years plus in the relationship, things started getting better for him. Things changed and I was happy for us. My birthday was forthcoming, and prior to that, he asked me the contact of a jeweler. I thought he wanted to surprise me with a jewelry. 3 days to my birthday, he felt critically ill, and I was there with him at the hospital. One of his sisters was also with us at the hospital. Then the doctor came in to tell us that he wanted to speak to them. So they went to the doctor's office. Out of curiosity, I wanted to see what he had for me on my birthday. So I checked this phone and I saw the greatest shock of my life. He ordered a customized necklace for another lady named Anna, and they asked for an engagement ring with an engravement in his name and the lady's name. Anna in question was his ex-girlfriend, who he broke up with before we met. I guess they got back together while we were still dating. I was so devastated and never wanted to react in the middle of the hospital. He got discharged on my birthday, and I still paid his hospital bills because his cards were declining. When we got home, I still cooked for him so that he could take his medications. Then I started packing my things. He saw me packing my things and he asked me why. I told him what I saw on his phone. He denied everything. I showed him the screenshot of the messages which I sent to my phone. He could not talk after that. That was the worst birthday of my life. I went back home. After that day, he kept begging me for about a month and I forgave him. Things changed between us. He was not giving me money and he was no longer the Sam I used to know. Sometimes I had to beg him to give me money to make my hair. My brother finally found out that we were dating and they confronted Sam. Sam denied it and said I was just a kid and he could never date me. My brother forwarded the recordings to me and he still denies it, saying he did not mean it that way. He apologized and I still forgave him, until when I find out he was still contacting his ex-girlfriend Anna. He was actually making travel plans with Anna. I confronted him and he told me he was just fooling Anna along. Even when most of his chats I saw are with travel agents, I started having problems with my family after they found out I have not been going to school for a year because I gave Sam my school fees to solve some of his problems. While doing that, I missed my registration, which made me wait 1 extra year. My family, after finding out, cut me off all privileges and allowances. I began to depend on Sam financially, who was doing very well at that time, but still he would not give me money. One time I connected him with a friend of mine who gave him a contract, only for me to find out that he was having an affair with her behind my back. I eventually got tired of everything. I remembered that he had a business investment that he had made through me. He gave me a total of 800,000 naira for the business and I did not do the business. I kept the money and refused to give him the money. Sam locked me up and insisted that I had to give him back the money. At the police station where I was locked up, I started feeling nauseous. The policemen believed that I was pregnant. They called Sam to pick me up and told him they can't lock up a pregnant woman. Though he did not come, but I was released. He later came to my house that night, crying like a baby, apologizing and begging me to forgive him. 2 days later, I went to take a test, a pregnancy test, and found out that I was not pregnant. I called him and told him that I was not pregnant. I told him the relationship is over for good and told him he was only using me. Sam did not even beg me. All he was asking for was his 800,000 naira. Because of Sam, I am not in good terms with my brother and school is resuming soon. Should I give him back the 800,000 naira or take it as my compensation?